Desde Cali, Colombia, allá está haciendo frío, aquí no. A toda la gente beautiful de Canadá, you people, I love you forever. Hey, you from Colombia, hey, bye bye.
And the beat is in the air. Colombia, what we love today. Freedom is so strong here, and the lights are shining bright. Colombia, gonna see my love tonight. It's a perfect night for dancing. The ocean breeze is saying, Colombia, I'm gonna dance the ride.
Buenos nachos, damas y caballeros. Well, after 17 years, I'm finally back at this little beautiful pueblito here in Boyaca, Colombia, called Raquira. And like I said, 17 years ago, I came here with my, what was then my Colombian girlfriend, Alejandra, and we came here for a couple hours. And I always remembered this beautiful little spot because it's basically a town of artisans, and probably it's all about tourism here, but it's just a beautiful place, as you'll see as I walk along the old cobblestone streets here. But I also want to mention that I just arrived to Colombia, Bogota, 4 days ago, and I had a couple problems this time. And so I'm going to do a separate video of that when I do my hotel tour later on. So I don't want to walk too far along here because I want to catch these beautiful little murals that are all along the side here. But as you can see, the buildings are all beautifully colored. And it's all about tourism. And it's just a tiny little town. And my goal basically is to just wander around for about an hour and a half. And then I need to catch a bus to a theme park, which I'll do a video of as well, of course. And then we'll just explore a little bit and see what we can find around here in Raquira. So let me tell you some of the basics for how I got here and how much it cost. I'm staying in Villa de Leyva, which is an older town in Boyaca. Beautiful spot, which I did another vlog or two of. And let me just turn the camera around here so you can see the beautiful colors. Anyway, from Villa de Leyva, I took a small bus. Didn't even take note of what the name of the company was, to be honest. But anyway, it's a smaller bus, no bathrooms or anything like that on it, and it costs 8,000 pesos, 8,000 pesos, which is only around $2.50 Canadian, $2 US, thereabouts. So very affordable, and it took about I'm gonna say about 30 minutes to get here, 30 minutos, and my plan is to, just like I said, hang around here for an hour and a half or so. And we got a guy painting a mural right there. Buenas tardes. Guess he's concentrating. And then there's another place that I want to go to called Parque Temático Gondaba. And I don't know much about it, but just from the photos, it's got these huge dinosaurs. So I guess the whole attraction is it's got a bunch of replica dinosaurs. So I thought I'd check that out, and I didn't know it was on the way to Raquira, and I noticed it was. So I think I caught about a 9 a.m. bus, and the bus driver said that there's buses returning from Raquira at 11 a.m. and also Some of these places aren't even open yet. It's still too early, I guess. 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. So a las 11 y a las 2 en la tarde para regresar a Villa de Leyva. Now, the cool thing about this place is that they've clearly made a concerted effort to paint it in all these beautiful colors, and it's become this artisan town for tourists. And so, yo amo Raquira, I love Raquira, and so that's all great, and it's very enterprising and smart for them to make the effort to make everything so beautiful, because it draws lots of tourists. But of course there's a downside too, which is that it is for tourists. And so if the tourism dries up, such as when there's a situation like we've had in the last almost 3 years, then I can imagine that it must be pretty sparse for people coming here and putting out their money to buy souvenirs, which I've been in the stores. The souvenirs are, you know, really beautiful, handcrafted, painted, like plates and all kinds of urns and things. So they're, you know, some beautiful things, and it's of course very tempting to buy stuff, but unfortunately I can't really buy a bunch of stuff like that. I just don't have room for it. So in other words, they're not necessities. And so I'd be curious to know if the people here kind of struggled a bit with the situation that we had over the last 3 years or so. By the way, it's November 3rd, I believe, today, 2022. If you've been wondering where the 7 dwarfs and Snow White have been hanging out for the past several years or decades since they made their film, I just found the answer. Here they are. That's Doc. That guy looks kind of like grumpy. One looks like happy. One of these are happy. Well, they all look kind of happy. That looks like, what's his name, Dummy? And of course Snow White. So here they are. And they got the students in on the act of beautifying the walls. Hola! Obviously a little school there. I'm not really sure what the story is with the indigenous people of the area, but obviously there must have been an indigenous culture. Hello, pero. Quiero decir hola. Hola. Seems friendly enough. Alright, so this is the main square in Raquira. Nothing too fancy. And as you can see over here, there's a big, whatever you want to call it, I guess it's not a sculpture. So I think this is where you want to live, right along the little river here. It's quite nice. The cool thing about this area that's also unique is most of the towns aren't all nice and painted bright colors, so this isn't the norm. A lot of the towns like Villa de Leyva, it's all whitewashed walls, so kind of plain looking, but this is much more colorful, which I love it. This will give you an idea of the kind of stuff that's inside the stores, the beautifully hand-painted bowls there, which again, I'd just love to buy some of that stuff if I had my own place down here in Colombia, but I can't be carting that kind of stuff around, unfortunately. Some more murals depicting the indigenous people and the farmers. Beautiful area. And in case you're wondering, temperature is just beautiful today. It feels like about 25 Celsius, which is a little too warm for this hoodie, but I don't want to wrap it around my waist either. See some more murals here with the donkeys. And of course over there is the iglesia, the church in the main town here. What do we have in here? Let's just take a quick look, shall we? Nice and green, beautiful colors. One thing I love about Colombia is they have these inner courtyard areas. So instead of having a big lawn out front, for instance, they'll have the inner area, which is, I guess, more secure, more private, and a green space with gardens. Another beautiful scene over here with the hanging moss, which I actually remember the word. It's musco. So let's take a walk along the river and see if there's any other nice little spots. This is a really, really beautiful mural. Get a little closer look here. Very nice. Just a little cafe slash fruit stand, it looks like, with the obligatory cervezas. Absolutely loving these murals. I think the dog is nice and chilled out. Beautiful. Can't get enough of these beautiful murals. Like more scenes out of the olden days, the good old days, in my opinion. Okay, so this is the bus that I actually came in on. So the line is Kumul Transvidya. Got a little bit too warm for me. Off with the hoodie. Show you some more murals. I'm wandering around here. More of the farmers, lots of noisy motorcycles, so you're going to hear some motorcycles here and there. Comes the policia after me again. I think they're following me. I see you. I see you, policia. So all totaled, I'd say that the area that's all painted really nicely is about, from the main square, you walk 2 blocks in each direction, and that kind of about does it for the really pretty touristy area. Again, there's just little restaurants all over the place, bakeries, clothes, and every kind of souvenir you could want, like bowls and things like that. But you have your usual normal things mixed in, like the pharmacy. As you can see, it's a little bit of a hilly area, which personally I like. Gives it a little bit of character. The broaster. Comidas rápidas. Comidas rápidas means fast food here. Trying to get as many murals filmed as I can, because who knows, I may never be here again. And back at the main square here, people doing some work, which thank goodness I don't have to do for about 4.5 months. Which, by the way, that means I'm going to be here until 11th of March. So that's quite a long time. So I'm guessing there's actually a whole bunch of different bus lines that do pick people up here at different times. So I probably don't have to rush and leave at 11, but I'm going to anyways, because there's only so much I can do here in a little town that's just full of souvenirs. That's about the most colorful building right here, I think. Granizado Cafe y Té. Sure you can figure out what that probably means. This looks like it's one of the biggest stores with stuff, so I think I'll go and investigate one store, because I'm sure that you'll want to see at least one. Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? Lots of beautiful vases. I won't be able to film in here for too long because they have music playing, so we'll get a copyright strike, so I'll have to do it in little bits and chunks. It's a little baby Groot. I'm sure you know who Groot is from the Marvel movie with piggy banks and more plain pieces for, I guess, if people want to paint them themselves. So just to give you an idea of a price that I see here on these masks, I see 34,000, which is actually, that's almost exactly $10. So I mean, you really can't complain about a price like that. Traditional wood masks. Oh, and ponchos. Boyaca is very famous for people wearing ponchos. So I'm actually pondering buying a little candy bowl for somebody. I won't mention who. Someone here in Colombia. This is another thing I'd probably buy if I had the space, is a beautifully painted parrot. Apparently, Jorge Ruiz said this. Hola, Jorge. Somebody doing some painting up there, sprucing up the place. Before I wrap up, I want to mention something I just thought of, which is that none of the vendors have pestered me at all. Nobody said, venga, 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 come. Look at this. Not even a peep out of the vendors. So it's really nice to see that they're a lot more polite, and they don't put the sales pressure on you. So I'll give you one last look One of the main streets here in Raquira. Cathedral over there. Beautiful little town. Type place I'd probably be happy to live in. Maybe someday, maybe that'll happen. Oh, by the way, the other thing I wanted to mention before I forget, got some AC/DC going on in there, a little bit of thunderstruck. You do hear American, Canadian rock down here occasionally, like that. One of the things I wanted to mention is that one of my objectives while I'm down here is to look for the place, the pueblito, that is most like Encanto. And if you don't know what Encanto is, that's a animated film that was set in this mythical little town in Colombia. And so it's a beautiful little town with flowers all over the place, very colorful, and mountains in the background. And I actually know the 10 places that the scouting people went to in order to put together their scenes. I'm not going to mention them, and I've been to I think 6 out of the 10. But anyway, before I forget, this is definitely a good qualifier for Encanto. They've got a lot of flowers in the buildings, it's colorful, it's tranquil, and I will keep you posted on my search. I'm going to be visiting Boyaca a little bit more than I ever have before. Villa de Leyva is the go-to place for all the tourists, but I want to see some of the smaller towns here. So that is the goal. And with that said, right here in the Plaza Principal, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this quick little video of Raquira in Boyaca, Colombia. Hasta los tacos. Ciao.